Emotional immaturity in female covert narcissists, a deep dive. Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we'll be discussing a deeply nuanced topic, the emotional immaturity often exhibited by female covert narcissists. This is the first part of a two-part series, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to catch the continuation. My goal is to empower you to recognize and navigate toxic relationships, helping you find clarity and peace in your emotional world. Female covert narcissists can be particularly challenging to identify because they often present as emotionally intelligent, empathetic, and vulnerable. This facade, however, masks a deeper emotional immaturity that can leave you feeling confused, gaslight, and emotionally drained. Let's explore this topic in depth. What is emotional intelligence? Before diving into how emotional immaturity manifests, let's establish what emotional intelligence, EQ, entails. EQ includes self-awareness, recognizing your emotions and their impact on others; self-regulation, managing your emotional reactions in a constructive way; empathy, understanding and sharing the feelings of others; relationship management, building and maintaining healthy connections. A female covert narcissist may appear to embody these traits, but this perception is often an illusion crafted to manipulate and control. 5 signs of emotional immaturity in female covert narcissists. 1. Lack of self-awareness. At first glance, a female covert narcissist may seem highly self-aware. She might openly discuss her flaws, traumas, or past mistakes, giving the impression of deep introspection. However, this self-awareness is often superficial and self-serving. It's designed to elicit sympathy and validate her victim identity rather than foster genuine self-improvement. For example, imagine someone constantly sharing how past relationships harmed them but never taking accountability for their role in those dynamics. This lack of true self-awareness becomes evident over time as they repeat the same patterns without meaningful change. Personal insight. Self-awareness requires vulnerability and accountability. If someone's self-awareness only serves to draw you into their problems, it's a red flag. 2. Lack of emotional accountability. A key hallmark of emotional immaturity is the inability to take responsibility for one's emotions and actions. Female covert narcissists excel at deflecting blame and pointing fingers. They often deny their wrongdoings, blame others for their emotional reactions, expect you to navigate their triggers without addressing them themselves. Consider a scenario where a covert narcissist has a sudden emotional outburst. Instead of apologizing, she accuses her partner of neglect or insensitivity, leaving him to shoulder the blame. This pattern forces others to tiptoe around her emotions, creating a toxic dynamic. 3. Lack of empathy. While female covert narcissists can feign empathy, their concern often feels shallow and transactional. They might comfort you when it benefits them, but withdraw when your needs inconvenience them. Their empathy often comes with strings attached, a way to make you feel indebted. Example story. Imagine a friend who offers support during a tough time, but later reminds you of how much they've done for you to justify their unreasonable demands. Over time, this conditional empathy feels more manipulative than supportive. 4. Inability to regulate emotions. Emotional regulation is a cornerstone of maturity, and female covert narcissists often lack this ability. Instead, they rely on others to stabilize their emotional state. This dependency can manifest as expecting immediate validation when upset, punishing those who fail to meet their emotional needs, using emotional outbursts as a means of control. Case study. A woman gets upset at a minor inconvenience, spiraling into accusations of neglect and withholding affection from her partner. Her inability to self-soothe creates a cycle of emotional chaos. leaving her partner emotionally drained. 5. Inability to regulate self-esteem. Despite exuding an air of confidence, female covert narcissists often have fragile self-esteem. Their sense of self-worth is precariously tied to external validation. They depend heavily on the approval, admiration, or attention of others to maintain their identity and emotional equilibrium. Without this constant reinforcement, their self-image can crumble, leading to dramatic mood swings and erratic behavior. At first glance, this can be difficult to detect. A covert narcissist may seem self-assured in social settings, seamlessly charming others and exuding an aura of capability. However, their composure is often a mask that hides a deep fear of inadequacy. This makes their self-esteem vulnerable to even minor slights, criticisms, or perceived neglect. How it manifests. Mood swings. When the narcissist doesn't receive the attention or admiration they expect, their mood can shift abruptly. One moment, they might be outgoing and charismatic. The next, they become withdrawn, irritable, or even combative, demanding validation. These individuals may seek constant reassurance about their abilities, appearance, or decisions. They often fish for compliments or subtly provoke situations where others feel compelled to boost their ego. Emotional withdrawal. If they feel ignored or undervalued, they may retreat emotionally, using silent treatment or passive-aggressive behavior as a way to punish those they feel have slighted them. The impact on relationships. Living or working closely with someone who struggles to regulate their self-esteem can be exhausting. Partners, friends, and colleagues often find themselves walking on eggshells, striving to avoid triggering an emotional collapse. Over time, this dynamic can create a sense of emotional servitude, where others are forced to constantly validate the narcissist to maintain peace. Example: picture someone who is the life of the party, captivating everyone with their wit and charm. However, if another person becomes the center of attention, they might suddenly withdraw, appearing moody or even resentful. Their self-esteem, reliant on being in the spotlight, takes a hit, and their reaction reflects this inner fragility. A deeper look. This inability to regulate self-esteem often has roots in early childhood experiences, such as inconsistent validation or emotional neglect. The covert narcissist may have learned to depend on external affirmation to feel valued, as they lacked a solid foundation of self-worth from within. However, instead of addressing these insecurities, they project them outward, creating a cycle of dependency that affects those around them. Story insight. Imagine a professional who thrives on accolades and praise for their work. In a team meeting, their ideas are praised, and they seem confident and engaging. But in a subsequent meeting where their input isn't highlighted, their demeanor changes. They become distant, curt, or even passive-aggressive, unable to handle the perceived slight. Over time, their colleagues may feel compelled to praise them more often, not out of genuine admiration, but to avoid conflict. Breaking the cycle. Understanding this behavior is the first step toward managing your interactions with a covert narcissist. Here are some strategies. Set boundaries. Avoid overextending yourself to meet their validation needs. It's not your responsibility to regulate their self-esteem. Focus on your emotional health. Don't let their insecurities undermine your confidence or emotional well-being. Encourage professional help. While it's not your job to fix them, gently suggesting therapy or self-help resources may encourage them to seek growth. By recognizing the covert narcissist's reliance on external validation, you can protect yourself from becoming entangled in their emotional struggles. Building your own resilience and seeking support from trusted friends or professionals will empower you to maintain healthy boundaries and relationships. A broader perspective. While these traits are characteristic of female covert narcissists, It's important to recognize that emotional intelligence is a spectrum. Many people struggle with aspects of EQ due to trauma, mental health issues, or upbringing. The distinction lies in the severity and consistency of these traits and the harm they cause to others. Building a better understanding. Specific examples. Story 1. The Mask of Vulnerability. A man shares his deepest insecurities with his partner, who seems genuinely empathetic. Later, she uses his vulnerability against him in arguments, highlighting his weaknesses to deflect from her behavior. Over time, he begins to doubt his own emotional capacity. Lesson: true empathy fosters trust, not manipulation. Story 2. The Emotional Roller Coaster. A couple enjoys a romantic weekend, but a minor disagreement triggers an emotional outburst. The woman accuses her partner of insensitivity, withholding affection until he earns back her love. This cycle repeats, leaving him emotionally exhausted. Lesson: emotional stability is essential for a healthy relationship. Conclusion: breaking free and moving forward. Recognizing emotional immaturity in a female covert narcissist is the first step toward breaking free from a toxic dynamic. Remember, self-awareness requires accountability and growth. Empathy should be genuine and unconditional. Emotional stability is crucial for mutual respect. If you're feeling trapped, consider seeking support from a therapist or a recovery program specializing in narcissistic abuse. You deserve relationships built on trust, respect, and genuine connection. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore additional signs of emotional immaturity and delve deeper into the tactics used by female covert narcissists. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to ensure you don't miss a thing.